What is going on, guys? Horizon here, and on today's episode of RLCS Game Plan, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the Game 7 played between Moist Esports and Furia. We're going to hop on board with Vatira here. Vatira, traditionally the furthest man back on Moist Esports more often than not, so we're going to see what he was able to see throughout this game, and see what might have gone wrong for Moist that caused them to drop this one to Furia. Now, nothing really happened in the first minute, so we're kind of going to just fast forward through this a little bit. Not going to dwell on the first minute too long. And yeah, let's pick it up right around here. Still 0-0, not a whole lot happening. Moist applying some pressure. And the first thing we're going to see is this touch right here from Vatira. So we got Joyo causing a bit of pressure for Furia here in the corner. He's going to get a demo on Yan. So this gives Vatira a clean touch on this ball. Now Vatira has a couple of options. Number one, he could keep this ball close, keep it close to himself, pop it up into an air dribble, maybe go for a ground play, something of that regard. He does have a bit of space, so he could go for that. Alternatively, he could also try to bang this ball off the backboard for either himself or a teammate to follow up on. So that's the method he goes for. But unfortunately, if we look at the positioning of Kayo, with how Kayo's positioned, any ball that basically goes from where those arrows are on the screen over to the left, Kayo's going to have no problems whatsoever. So if Vatira wants to bang this off the backboard, he has to put it either really far to the left, so it's really far away from Kayo and Kayo can't reach it quickly enough, or he needs to put it really far to the right, behind Kayo. And that would enable Moist to hopefully maintain possession of the ball. But with where he puts this, he puts it right up above Kayo, and Kayo's like, cool, thanks, free clear, I'll take that. Happy to clear that ball downfield. Onward we go, though. A couple counter clears coming through from Moist, trying to get the ball back out of their corner. Nothing too crazy going on here, just kind of chilling, being in a good spot. Position to help out Rise if need be. Another touch here from Rise and just kind of is lofted onto the backboard, and Jan's like, cool, thanks, I'll take that. So not really anything going for that attack there from Moist. It's a good challenge from Vatira just to make sure he goes up and blocks that out. And he gets dusted. So right here, you have to almost recognize who you're playing against. You're playing against Furia. Undoubtedly one of the fastest teams in the world. If you're playing against Furia, and you're gonna try to have this, like, lead pass where a player who's sitting ahead of the ball jumps up and tries to, like, go for a double or redirect it, you almost need to pre-jump that. Because the fact of the matter is, when Joyo touches this ball, it's gonna be traveling towards Furia. It's gonna be getting closer to Furia and further away from Moist. So, if Vatira wants to go up for this, he almost needs to pre-jump this touch from Joyo. Because otherwise, as you see, there is no way he's going to meet Yan, because the ball is going towards Yan, and Yan can just go up and put a stop to it. And it's not even a close challenge. Onward we go, though. Good challenge there from Joyo to get the ball back out to the corner. And then this is a really smart play from Vatira. So he's in net here, and he watches Caard catch this ball. Now, as soon as Caard comes across like this, Vatira can look at Caard's Caard position and go, okay, there's no way he's shooting this. And even if he does try to get around the ball and put a shot on, it's not going to be threatening enough that Rise wouldn't be able to make the save with zero issue. So Vatira knows, based on that positioning of Caard, I'm going to play this infield pass, because that is the most dangerous threat right now. So he immediately diagnoses the position that everyone's in, recognizes what is the threat, and promptly gets rid of it by going out and challenging that pass to Kayo, and shutting it down immediately. So very smartly done there from Vatira. Speedy rotations coming back through. Vatira has the ball, and he no longer has the ball. So, this is a theme that we're going to see a lot throughout this game. Moist don't really like to go for possession plays on the ground. They prefer, if they're going to go for a possession play, it to be in the air. The problem that we're going to see here is Vatira gets this really nice soft touch. He's over Caard. Caard is going to have a little bit of a difficult time getting back to this because of how slow he's going and because of the fact that he has to turn around. So Vatira easily has an opportunity to get back underneath this ball, pop it up, and go for some kind of air dribble, hopefully force a bad 50, maybe get the ball to drop in Furia's box for Rise or Joyo to follow up on. But Rise, for whatever reason, instead of backing off from this and letting the possession play happen, or even taking a possession play himself, He does what we've seen Vatira do in the past, which is just bang the ball to the backboard. But the problem is that Jan's right there. So literally any touch to this backboard, Jan's gonna go, great, thanks, I'll take that and it won't be an issue. So possession play is definitely the ideal situation here. And Rise just booms the ball away and it's immediately possession gone. And Furia's back in control of the ball. Joyo tries to make something happen and in fairness almost does, but we're gonna see a bit of some anxiousness here from Vatira. So he gets that ball swiped out from Rise. And this ball drops into the corner. If Vatira just stays right here and waits to see if Joyo gets a touch on this ball, he is in a beautiful position. Because Joyo's going to come down this wall, he's going to get a touch, Caard's stuck in net, Kayo's backwards. So if Joyo can get a touch and then get a pass out to Vatira, Furia is all of a sudden in a world of hurt. But because Vatira creeps so close to this play before waiting to really see what might happen, there's just no shot that he does anything with this. Because look at the positioning right now. If Vatira had stayed, like right around here, this is glorious. Because Joyo flicks this ball right out to him, and that upper right corner is wide open. Kayo might be able to get there, but Caard certainly isn't. So if Vatira had just stayed more patient and stayed right around this area, it would have been a glorious opportunity for Moist to score here. But instead of being patient, Vatira just kind of jumps into the corner here and it just turns into a hit off the backboard. And it's a lot less threatening of a situation. Moist does manage to maintain ball control, but it's definitely not as threatening as what we might have wanted to see going forward. Being patient in the midfield here, you love to see it. And now this is just really smart play from Vatira. So we got this whole section here that goes back about 10 seconds. And it's just really smartly recognizing where the opponent is sitting. So he knows right as he's coming up for this ball that no one's on the backboard. Kayo's just fallen off. Now, he could put the shot on net, but what good does that do? There's two defenders, and Caard is currently running upfield. So any weak shot on net is going to be an immediate counterattack for Furia. So he knows he doesn't want to do that. So instead he just puts it off the backboard. This allows his teammates to come back in, Joyo comes back around. He lingers in the midfield, waits to see what Caard's going to do, and then again, no one's on the backboard. So what does Vatira do? He powers it right up to the backboard. Again, undefended, and this gives a free shot for Rise, and it is a beautiful strike right into the bar and down and in. Onward we go, next kickoff. And there it is. So, the question we all have is, when will teams learn not to do this? Guy going for the kickoff. Really aggressive cheat up. And their third man is driving up the line to watch the ball go into their own net, I assume. So you've just taken the lead in Game 7. Literally all you need to do at this point is chill. You can play defense for the next 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And as long as you don't give up a goal, you'd be fine. So the question is, why are we taking this kickoff like we need to score right now? Because the only reason for you to be this aggressive on kickoff is if you need to get a goal. And you're hoping that either the ball dives in the middle and your cheat-up man can get it, or it rolls all the way back, all the way to the side, or all the way to the corner, and your guy picking up boost can get it. Other than if you're trying to score, there is no reason to do this. If you're trying to defend the net, this is not it. I'm sure Johnny Boy was absolutely livid at this moment because Moist had pretty good possession of this game early on, and they kind of just took all that momentum they got and threw it in the garbage by letting Furia score this. Furia's too good of a team. You can't give them free goals. It just doesn't work. Like, you're not gonna win games if you just go, here you go, Furia, have a free goal. We'd love for you to be back in the game. One day, teams will learn not to be aggressive on the kickoff, and you'll even see that they alter it slightly, because Joyo goes to the back corner, and he's still, I believe, going to turn up the line on this. And he is, but you'll notice Vatira's cheat is so much further back. He has so much more room to react to this ball than if he had been up here. If he had been up here, he's probably demoed by Kayo, and now Joyo's by himself. But with this setup, it is much safer, because you have someone that can attack this ball, and then while he's attacking the ball, Joyo can rotate back to net if need be. So a much safer way to take the kickoff. The problem is they do this after it's tied up again, instead of when they were winning. one day teams will learn, and one day Vatira will hopefully score this, because I think he's reading right here that Yan is going to have a touch when he comes off this wall, so I think he's going for the block on Yan's touch, which, I mean, is fair enough. Yan is right there, but if you realize with when Yan landed, there's no way that he's really getting back up to this ball fast enough. So Vatira definitely has an opportunity for a shot here, at least an attempt at 50-50 it into the net, but instead he plays the block and just kind of airmails it because Yan was never going to go for the ball. So that's unfortunate, but you know, it happens. Things happen. Good flip in there from Vatira to get in on this challenge, and a lovely controlled 50 to keep it in the box. Unfortunate that it doesn't quite work out, but out we go back downfield. And clear from Rise, just going to take control of this ball. Out we go. And now here's another problem we'll see. So, in this instance, Rise does try to get a pass to Joyo. But look at how big the gap is that Rise is trying to bridge with this pass. Like, they're trying to cover so much of the field with these passes that Furia is just able to read the lane and jump up and cut it out before the person receiving the pass can even make any meaningful contact, because they're getting challenged as soon as the ball gets to them. I think Moist can work on just shortening their passing lanes and making sure they're keeping the ball close to themselves and close to their teammates. We've talked about it extensively when looking at Team BDS and how they play, and how they just take every touch and keep it close to either themselves or their teammates. That would really have benefited Moist here, because it would have kept Furia from being able to cut out those passes because they were so much closer and tighter. And because Moist is trying to cover these big gaps across the field, it makes it far easier for Furia to read those plays and just cut them out before they even develop into anything. Good challenge there from Vatira just to keep it in. I would have liked to see Vatira steal this boost. Like, this ball is coming across, Joyo's in the opposite corner, so the ball is moving towards Joyo. So there's not going to be a whole lot that Vatira is really able to do here. And there's not anyone from Furia who's actively, like, challenging this ball, and no one's going to be able to get a booming clear on this. So the ball is still going to remain in Furia's half. I would like to see Vatira deny the resources from Furia here, because Furia is a fast team. But to be a fast team, you need to have boost. So it would have been nice if Vatira could have swiped that boost away from Furia, and it would have made them breaking out of this a lot harder. Good demo, though. Working back around, all the way back. No concerns here. Beautiful air dribble from Vatira. Lovely last touch, but didn't quite get over the last man. And I'm a little confused as to what Furia was doing here, because Vatira has this beautiful air dribble, right? Perfectly fair. Caard goes up and plays it to the corner. That's fine. Kayo, my dude, you're the only person who can currently defend the net. So the question is, you see both your teammates in the corner. So why is the play to come out to the middle? I think he's banking on Yan getting a pass into the midfield. But again, in the same way we talked about Moist trying to cover large gaps, that's like half the field across that Yan is about to try to cover with this pass. So if it goes wrong, like it does, Joyo's gonna cut this out. Or at least he's gonna put in a challenge on Kayo before Kayo can really do anything. So if he was just a little further back, like here, then when this ball came down like this, he could have immediately prepared for Joyo to shoot, because there's no way he's beating him to it. But he tried to rush out, and he's not even close. He can't cut down any angles, Joyo just has a free shot, and they just left the net totally wide open. Another kickoff, here we go. I like this challenge a lot from Vatira. He knows if he goes for this challenge, he's going to lose the boost to Yan, and he's currently going to win it. But instead of worrying about the boost and just beating Yan to it, he's going to make the life on his defenders a lot easier by just jumping in front of this touch from Kayo and making sure Kayo doesn't have a free touch. So I really like that sacrifice of the boost from Vatira to deny the touch from Kayo, just to make sure that Furia is not running down on a free attack there. This is the first time we're going to see some kind of concerning look on defense. And we're going to notice a theme in this last minute. And it's going to be concerning moments on defense from Moist. Because Moist has played pretty calm this entire game. Granted, they haven't controlled the ball all that well. They haven't kept it close to themselves all that well. They've given away possession quite a bit. But at the end of the day, they're still up 2-1. But at the end of the day, they're still up 2-1. and they still have a really solid chance of winning this game as long as they remain calm on defense for the last minute. All they need to do. The first concerning sign we're going to see right here is that it is pretty obvious that no one from Furia is going to be able to touch this ball. They just got bumped. Joyo just landed. It's highly unlikely, or Caard just landed rather. It's highly unlikely that anyone's going to be able to jump up for this overly quickly because their momentum just died. So this ball is moving towards the net, and Joyo's right there. You don't see anyone coming in from the back of your screen yet, so you don't have to be concerned that someone's going to dunk you. So Joyo has the easy clear on this. Just drive forward and pop it out to the side. But for some reason, Vatira still jumps and kind of bumps him out of the way, almost. I don't know if he actually touches him. But it sure is close to Vatira almost just kicking Joyo completely off that ball, which would have been absolutely terrible. But even after that, I don't like this touch from Joyo. So we have this pop out to the side, that's fine. But then we have that touch. And what exactly is that touch accomplishing? Because this is, again, it's more panic on defense. Like, Joyo, you have space. You're good. We're 50 seconds from the win. Delaying time and playing possession is more important than taking a pot shot on net because you think you might be able to catch Joyo out. The problem is this shot is way too light, so literally all Joyo is doing here is going, here you go Joyo, have the ball. Please enjoy another free possession courtesy of Moist Esports. If he had just caught that ball, Yan is backwards. He's not challenging. Joyo's running back to net. So if Joyo had just caught this ball, took it slow, took it up the wall, he'd be able to drain like 5 to 10 seconds off of this clock before anyone from Furia is able to put in a competent challenge that would gain them back possession. Because they might be able to challenge Joyo, but it's not going to go anywhere other than other places inside Furia's half. So Joyo just missed the opportunity to play possession and play clock, and we're going to see a couple instances of that as we go forward. So Joyo takes over the ball, and that's that. And out we go down the field counterattack, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, Joyo gives away the ball, and 3 touches later, Furia's in the position to put a dangerous shot on. And I don't know what Vatira's really thinking here. I don't know if he's concerned about own going. But if we look at Joyo's position in net, Joyo's backwards. So we absolutely can't let a touch come across for a pass, because Joyo's in a world of hurt trying to defend the whole net with how he's positioned. So Vatira really should be trying to just put himself in front of this ball to deny this passing lane. If he just double jumps right here, he hits this ball. It's not even going to be an issue. And it probably clears to the backboard or maybe even to the corner depending on how much of his car he gets behind it. But he just lets this ball go and it flies across to Caard. And this is extremely dangerous because this is Caard right from the top of the box launching a shot on net. And Joyo is grounded up until right when Caard takes a shot. So now Joyo is forced to pre-jump, and luckily, he guesses right. If Caard shoots that low, like bottom right, top right, Joyo isn't saving that. So if Caard had just gotten a little more around it, it wasn't savable, but that entire situation could have been completely erased if Vatira had just gotten in front of that pass. But instead, he lets it go through. Luckily, Joyo does make the save, but really a dangerous situation, and again, another lack of treasuring possession. Yan has just given up this ball. No one from Furia is able to touch this ball. It's not possible. Everyone's on the ground. Yan's floating. No one's touching this. Just put this into the corner. Give Rise the ball. Give Joyo the ball. Put it into one of your 2 corners and let your player turn around and at least go for a 50-50. At the very worst, by dropping it into the corner, it's a 50-50. But instead, he just kind of lobs the ball forward, and again, Furia goes, alright, cool, I guess we'll take another free possession. Thanks, Vatira, we really appreciate that. Good play from Rise there to slow the ball down, I do like that. Tucking ourselves back into net. Good cutout of a pass there from Joyo. And now it's Panic Station. So, let's look at this. Let's look at our boost situation, shall we? So, Rise is at 0, Vatira is 30, Joyo is 12. So Joyo is completely out of the play. He is totally useless. But at this exact moment, Vatira has probably stated that he's 30 in net. Rise has probably stated that he's picking up this corner, because there's obviously no way Caard's beating him to it. So Rise gets this boost. Now, in this situation, Rise should look at this ball, and should immediately drive up the wall, and clear it off the backboard. Vatira's in a horrible spot. There's nothing you can really do about this. So Rise starts to come up the backboard, but instead of just charging up it, and then playing the ball as it bounces down, he stops and comes back to the ground. Now the thing is, even if this ball doesn't bounce straight down, which from this angle, it looks like it's going to, even if it doesn't bounce straight down and it bounces out, Rise still has a better chance jumping from the backboard than Vatira does doing this in and out save in net. So at this very moment, Rise should be screaming that he's got this ball, because there is no way that he shouldn't be able to make a touch on this. But instead he goes on the ground, and I don't know if there was just a lack of comms that he was gonna be able to get this ball, but he also doesn't jump straight. So now Kayo gets the ball. Vatira's forced to make this challenge now because Rise wasn't able to make the challenge on the backboard like we had probably hoped. And this just turns into a double commit. The ball hits off the crossbar. We got a double commit. So now Vatira has 3 boost. Joyo is finally on his way back. He's got 9. But now we're going to see a problem, because Joyo probably can make a save on this ball. He's got 21 boost. He can probably make it. No problem. Can probably make the save because how slow the shot is. Vatira has 0. And he kind of panics a bit, because I think he actually does have time to like drive forward a little bit and then clear this out to the side. But instead he panic jumps because he thinks the shot's going to be a lot faster. So he jumps, and he doesn't even give a chance for Joyo to get back to make this save because Vatira own goals it. Now this entire situation could have been avoided if Rise had gotten this clear. Because if Rise had calmed that he was on the backboard and he was getting this ball, Vatira would have stopped at this point, would have jumped down, and would have landed in net. But because Rise doesn't calm that, or it's not comprehended by Vatira fast enough, now he's in a world of trouble. The ball comes in, he sees the shot coming. I don't know if he doesn't know that Joyo is able to get this, and he panics and puts it in his own net. Not the end of the world. See what we get up to here. Around we go. I don't like this turn-up field all that much. We haven't been playing for team plays or passing to our teammates this whole match. So I don't really know why, now that we're tied 2-2 with 14 seconds left, now we want to try to linger upfield for a pass. Because the problem with that in this exact situation is Rise is backwards, heading back to net, so he's not going to be of much use for a couple seconds. Joyo is getting pressured by Kayo. Granted, Kayo has 0 boost, but Joyo still has to be wary that he's there, because Kayo could at any moment just bump Joyo off the ball. And if Joyo gets bumped off the ball, or demoed off the ball with where Vatira is and where Rise is, someone from Furia, most likely Jan, with his 94 boost, is going to come steaming in here, going to take this ball, and is going to slot it somewhere that Rise won't be able to get to. Or we'll be in the exact same situation where Rise has to pre-jump and make a miraculous save. So, not what we want to be seeing. So I don't really like this linger up field from Vatira here. And as we can see, it just results in more pressure from Furia. This is a really nice touch to the side, though, by Vatira. I do have to say, really nice manipulation of the 50 to make sure this pinches out to the corner. Lovely option. Now, you'll notice, Joyo, once again, plenty of space. There's 6 seconds left. Your goal right now, get the ball out of your half first. Once you get the ball safely out of your half, then we can talk about making a play to get the game winner. We don't need to talk about getting the game winner when it's in our own corner with 6 seconds left. Not what we want to be doing. So instead of taking this ball under control and maintaining possession of it, and allowing Moist to gather the resources and then break out on offense for one final attack on Furia's net, Joyo just slams the ball up the wall. And Kayo, of course, looks at that and goes, "Oh, why thank you. I will take over." And now you guys are under a lot of pressure, with one of your players out of the play, and only 4 seconds left. And let's look at the positioning of Joyo and Rise here. So Joyo and Rise are basically at midfield now, because both of them apparently thought that Joyo was going to be launching a massive counterattack and was somehow going to get around Kayo. Not exactly sure why they would think that, because Kayo was literally sitting there waiting for a touch to come to him. So now, Vatira's looking at this and is going, "Oh my, this is problematic." Because by this precise moment, right now, Vatira has one chance to save this ball. And that would be to immediately boost as hard as possible up this wall, jump out, and get the clear. If he doesn't do that, he is at the mercy of blocking a shot from Yan. And we'll see, he hesitates for 1 second, and Yan's in the air. And then he jumps, so he waits 1 extra second, instead of just immediately boosting up the wall, and Yan jumps first. So at this point, Yan is in the air, Yan's gonna beat Vatira to the ball. There's no two ways about that. Vatira at this point needs to just look at where Yan is coming from, look at how he's going to impact the ball, and put his car between the ball and the net. That's all he needs to do. But the problem with this aerial is, number one, he's boosting in weird directions, like he's not going straight up, and with the way his car is pointed, it almost looks like he's traveling to where the ball is going to be if Yan isn't here. If Yan doesn't touch this ball, Vatira makes contact, because that ball is going to fall right into where Vatira is flying. But Vatira, in his path to get there, is taking himself away from where the shot's going. Because if you look at where Yan's positioned, this shot is very obviously going somewhere to the left. It might be going, like, up, it might be going down, like, we're not really sure about that, but we know the ball is going to the left with where Yan is positioned. There's no way this ball goes to the right. So Vatira's angle here, like, he just gives himself zero chance to put a stop to this shot. He just takes himself totally away from where the potential shot is going and gives the net for Yan. I don't know if that was just a mechanical error and he just accidentally air rolled possibly the wrong way with all the pressure that he was under, but he was really left in a rough spot by his teammates. Like, Joyo sold him out with that touch that just gave the ball away to Furia, because as soon as Joyo made that touch and Furia took over control, it was all on Vatira. If Vatira doesn't make every decision absolutely perfectly in this situation, they're getting scored on. There's no two ways about it, because there's no help back behind him, because they both thought they were going on a counter-attack. So Vatira gets toasted, and you really can't blame Vatira that much, because he has about 1/10 of a second to make the decision to boost up that wall or to jump immediately, and he hesitates for 1 second, and it costs them the goal. So really, you gotta put that on Joyo not controlling the ball. 2 seconds left. I don't really know what they're going for here. Like, they're just kind of doubling on kickoff, which means they just have 2 players on, like, no boost. So I don't know if they've just given up or what, but it was a really weird decision, because now you also have 2 players holding hands, singing Kumbaya together, strolling down the field as Joyo tries to keep the ball up, and there's just nothing they can do. So really a weird final play there to send 2 players and not, like, play for a solid kickoff strategy when you still had some time to work with the ball on the ground. I think this comes down to just a couple of issues that Moist had. Number one, I feel like they lacked use of their teammates. So much, it was a lot of, let me go solo, let me try to do this myself. We trust our own mechanics to be able to deal with what the other team's defense is going to do, and we'll be able to get the job done. But the problem is, Furia's defense is so good, and their own mechanics are so good, that they just watch Moist mechanical plays and go, yeah, we practice against South American players that all do this kind of stuff, so we know how to defend solo flip resets and all that stuff. The thing is that Sam might not be as good at is defending really close-knit, fast passing plays, because everyone in Sam is really mechanical on an individual level, but you don't see as many, like, BDS-style passing plays in South America. Additionally, there was just a lack of organization on defense in that last minute. There were a couple of awkward situations where if comms had just been possibly clearer, or things had been communicated faster or better, that they might have avoided some horrible double commits, or they might have been able to stay a little more organized. And at the end of the day, their organization on defense kind of let them down in the tying goal for Furia. And then last but not least, and probably the biggest one, is just their lack of controlling the ball, especially in the last minute. Joyo had so many opportunities to just take the ball down, slow it down, take possession, force Furia to use resources to get the ball away from you. Because if you force the other team to use resources to get the ball away from you, then they don't have the resources to launch a counterattack once they get the ball. But if you just hand the ball back to them, then they're already collecting the resources that they were going to use to challenge you, but now they don't have to challenge you, and they just have the ball for free. And there was at least 2 times in the final minute that Joyo had the opportunity to slow the ball down and probably burn 5 to 10 seconds off the clock, or at least safely move the ball from their own half into Furia so they could play for the game-winning goal. And instead of taking that time and space that Furia was giving, he just boomed the ball away like he was panicked that something was going to happen, and if he didn't make the touch on the ball right now and get it downfield, he wasn't going to be able to. But we will also soon see how BDS was able to shut down Furia in their semifinal match. And maybe we'll see a little bit more of what opportunities Moist missed out on that would have allowed them to take down Furia in this match.